But here in Minnesota, we're winning, getting remands back for new hearing in 56% of the cases. That was our 2024 statistic. Our 2024 statistic nationwide was 70%. And this is an interesting fact because it shows you that in federal court, you've got the same exact law. It should be viewed the same exact way. Same law, same federal system, but different results. Now, how in the world do you have these vastly different percentages in this system? We're not taking different issues, the same issues. They're perceived differently, different judges, different outcomes. And my point is this: cases are treated drastically different across the country, despite the fact that federal law is technically supposed to be uniform. But this is a serious problem, and it's one that goes to the very heart of what I've spent my career doing in one way or another, and that's holding the government accountable. And before I handled Social Security, you heard a little bit about what I did before. I was a criminal defense attorney in Manhattan. I tried more than 60 cases to verdict, handled more than 50 homicide cases, and in that world, the stakes are obvious. My liberty was on the line. In criminal defense, the fight is against prosecutors who sometimes cut corners or ignore evidence or withhold evidence or overcharge. In disability appeals, still holding the government accountable. The fight is now against an agency that sometimes refuses to acknowledge its own mistakes or stands behind an administrative law judge's denials despite a very obvious disability, or where the ALJ simply got it wrong and the government still backs up their ALJ. They represent a client, they represent the government, and it doesn't matter whether the client is disabled or not, they're going to stand behind their ALJ. Now, while these two practice areas may seem vastly different, and in fact they are in a lot of ways very different, they have one thing in common, and that's in both areas, in both arenas, an unchecked government power can absolutely ruin lives. I mean, it's unquestionable that in the criminal defense arena, if somebody's wrongfully convicted, they're going to spend quite a lot of time in prison, and that is, of course, unjust. It's a tragedy in and of itself, but in the Social Security system, it's equally tragic if the government gets it wrong. I mean, you have a situation where if the government gets it wrong, you have people that rely on that money. But what people do is they rely on it to pay for basic necessities. They have to pay for their food. They have to pay for their shelter. It's their everyday living expenses that they're really trying to get by on. And without it, they could be homeless. They don't know what to do with themselves. They don't know where their next meal is coming from.